Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Lieberland Show. I'm your host, Adam J. Carswell, today joined by the one and only Cody Knoell. Cody was first introduced to me through someone who might have the record for the most Lieberland Show appearances. It's close between him and our boy Cam Ivan. But the guy I'm referring to is Joey Langenbrunner, who first introduced me to Cody. And we've known each other for a few months now. And Cody is definitely someone that I've brought here for a reason because I just feel like as I've gotten to know him, I'm like more people need to know this man exists. So Cody, great to have you here on the Lieberland show. Cool that you've been brought here through a Lieberland connection. I should have checked with you before I hit record, and if this is not the case, we need to get on it. But are you already an e-resident of Lieberland?
No, I need to be.
Okay,
Where's
well yeah,
my?
that's
I need
that's
to set up
happening.
my e-residency ASAP.
Yes, and for those tuned in who are not already e-residents, it's very simple. You just go to Lieberland.org and one of the tabs right there can guide you. I think it's last time I checked around 150 US to become a Lieberland e-resident. You can open up a business with the e-residency and a bunch of other cool things. In fact, if you want to ask any questions about becoming an e-resident or even a citizen of Lieberland, you can fire me an email, citizenship.adam@lieberland.org. Lots of benefits to both. I would say, um, definitely more benefits, obviously, to being a citizen. But if you're looking to take baby steps, e-residency is pretty straightforward, just on Lieberland.org. So there you go. There's your commercial for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Cody, for those who do not know who you are, your background, could you tell your story and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I'll keep this as brief as I can. So I'm 22 years young. I've been to 19 countries. A few of them I've returned flights to. I do remote closing, run a couple businesses on the side, helping people to get additional passports, selling a few properties wholesale in the US for some investors. And I started off 13 years old doing magic tricks after I watched America's Got Talent and saw somebody, his name was Shin Lim, he made $1 million. And I'm like, I could probably do that. Well, I couldn't do that, but I did pretty well. Saw my first taste of success like 15 years old, generated 30,000 from doing in person business, going to shows, threw it all back into magic. Had a stint as a chef where I was offered to open my own restaurant. Eventually decided none of this was where I wanted to go long term. Took a break into sales. I had $500 to my name, put myself on a payment plan to pay for a sales mentor, ate rice and beans for 3 months to afford my bills. And then I wish I could say it was uphill ever since, but it was like 6 months of battling from there, getting into a really good position after that. And then the last 2 years, I've just been exploring the world a little bit more, meeting a bunch of great people, getting a few additional licenses, setting up some securities. And now in the last couple of months, I'm here in the States before I head back to Finland, Morocco, move to Thailand for the next year and I'm going to relax out there with some friends. So that's kind of the full scale.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty soon here, your amount of countries visited is going to surpass your age, which is pretty exciting. You've even got me beat by I think maybe like three or four countries, so that's also inspiring as well. Now, one reason I wanted to bring you on the show is the last time we spoke, you talked about this journey that you were on to, I think, Thailand, with some friends of yours, and I just love that you guys are uh, say yeah committing to this vision. Could you share with our listeners like what the heck you're doing in Thailand?
Absolutely. As a preface to it, I think that when you are because all of my friends were all business minded. We're all business minded, masculine men with a lot of drive and a lot of goals. When you're in that position, there's a lot of different ways you can set up your lifestyle. But in terms of the highest quality lifestyle you're going to get for the amount you're making, if you're making less than 20,000, 25,000 a month, Latin America, Thailand, Bali, those are going to be the best quality of life you're going to get. If you're making 25K plus somewhere in Europe, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Romania, you're probably going to get a good quality of life there. Obviously, above that, you can go wherever you want. But I have three friends. One is big into crypto. Another guy who's in sales. He's selling for Mercedes and BMW. I've got one friend who has been in construction his whole life, but just said, I'm tired of all of it. I will sell every single item I own, and I do not care how much work I have to put into it. I'm going to be successful. I just need the boys to be around me. And I've already met up with a bunch of sales guys. I've done some of the travels before, but I'm like, we're currently in a stage where we're making not consistently anything more than like 15, 20,000 a month on a good month. And then a bad month, you don't do that well, right? So I was like, how can we ensure that there's going to be a positive feedback loop? Everybody's going to be able to grind together and you're going to have three friends locked in because it's just the male essence of like what everybody dreams of. Move in with your boys, do the work. And so we all said, you know what? Screw it. We're going to sell everything we own. My friend's selling his truck. The other one's selling all his vehicles, closing out his lease. I've been living in Airbnbs in Nebraska while I'm here for a couple months visiting family instead of signing a lease because I didn't want to get into one. And we're literally dropping everything we have here to go all in. I'm already in a commission only sales role that I'm doing well in. Neither of them have worked commission only roles before. They're both dropping it, hopping in there. So that way they can still have the time and location freedom. We're all going there. It'll be 7 to 8 hours a day in a sales role, 3 or 4 hours of doing boxing, gym training, exploring the beauty that there is out there. And then another 4 to 5 hours of figuring out what business venture comes after this, because the end goal is not sales. Sales is just the avenue to generate enough cash flow to try out other businesses. And we're moving there. All three of us have already agreed. We're not leaving until everybody for at least 3 months in a row has made $20,000 profit.
The Cody Knoell framework, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. And I'm sure that message, that just resonates with so many Liberlandians. It's the most free way to go about living your life, I would say, and especially for you guys to be doing this at this stage in your life too. Um, Man, it's just so. Are you planning on documenting the journey along the way? I guess I'm just thinking about that now because it's one of those things for me at now at age 34 with a family. Obviously, that's not as easy as of a lift, but I want to feel like I'm on this with you guys, So are you gonna be posting on YouTube, Instagram, and that's talking about other avenues to generate income. Like there you go, the sales boys or whatever, buy our merch, right?
But we need to come up with the name and probably do some more
Sales boys
marketing.
is kind of weak. You need a better name than
Yeah, exactly.
that.
But we've got two pair of Meta Ray-Ban glasses going. We've got three tripod stands. Honestly, iPhone has really good recording quality. We've all got iPhone 15 Pros. Might end up upgrading or buying one camera to go there as well. We've got a 4K drone, and the gym that we're going to be having our membership through, they have a podcast studio there. So we're going to try to get as much footage as we can to document the journey because I wish I did that a lot more when I started. It would have been great to even have some photos, but I just cut off everything for a year. And I think that's the biggest regret I have looking back. I don't want to make that mistake again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it might not feel like it, but again, at 22, there's so many people that wish they could have began doing even like a sliver of what you guys are doing, uh, even at age 30. So you guys are ahead of the game for sure. And the key is, to your point, forget about which you didn't document and just maybe this interview can be the part of the catalyst. What one thing that I also enjoyed learning from you and just kind of seeing how you have learned so much in the sales roles that you're in, which by the way, I think high ticket Zoom sales, if you are desiring to go the direction of like full entrepreneur, it's a great way to get started. Selling someone else's stuff that's really, quote unquote expensive, great direction to go. Um, but you've also when you dive into that world as you have, you start to learn some cool technology things that you can apply to like other areas of life. So like from you, I really like your follow-up process. I know you're big on Fathom, kind of integrating that with Chat GPT. I'm a big AI guy, but for all of our AI nerds out there that aren't optimizing their day-to-day life in a way that you think is like really low-hanging fruit, what would you recommend?
It really depends on what you need to optimize. So the first and foremost thing is like identify what you're trying to optimize. If you don't know what you need to fix, it's hard to fix it. That's why you get a diagnosis on a car before they start fixing parts on it. But once you know what you need to fix, there's almost a tool for anything you need right now. Claude, ChatGPT, they're very good as thought creating their own thoughts, basically. You can go into either one of those, give them a prompt with the right framing, and they'll be able to generate an answer as if they were someone else. Gemini is really good for doing market research. If you just need to figure out from everything that's on Google, anything that's online, what can you find me about this? Fathom is good for just recording calls. If you don't want to take notes in a call, sit there and write down notes on a piece of paper, have Fathom in there, especially if you're getting into sales or taking online interviews or anything. If you get a Fathom, not only are you going to have the recordings, so you don't have to worry about recording it, taking notes, putting it all down later, but you can go back and watch the recordings and self-identify anything in there. You can use it to improve communication as well. Sit on the meeting, hit record, just you and yourself, similar to how people would do when they started YouTube channels. Record what you want to say, go back, listen to the filler words, cut out the filler. I mean, there's so many different applications to AI just based off the front end. Then you have stuff on the back end, like the AI that's integrated within Lipsend, or it's integrated within Go High Level, that can change a message to where it's less salesy or more salesy. I have, I don't use it that much, but it's like a little pop-up that posts on the side of the screen. I think it's like Harp. Yeah, I use Harpa AI sometimes, which can analyze part of a web page and give you an answer based on that, but you don't have to plug it into ChatGPT. You basically right click and you can use different language modules right then and there. You have Instantly, which has an AI in there that can automatically warm up your emails, your email account. So that way, when you send messages, they don't end up in your spam folder, the promotions when you're trying to do email marketing. You really just have to identify what the issue is. And then, I mean, Adam, I know you probably know a lot more about, definitely know a lot more about AI than I do. But I used what I needed based on identifying my problems, found the problem, and then I looked at solutions and I tried different AI until I found the best one that was going to work.
Yeah, I mean, those are some great recommendations there for sure. And to kind of hammer home what you're saying, AI is great for identifying blind spots. I think to your point, it's like, all right, well, if someone's like, that's probably using the car diagnostic example. Sometimes you go in and you know something is wrong with your car, but you have like no idea what it is. Um, can kind of do the same thing with AI. Hey, I don't know what's wrong with me, but maybe you can help me. I bet if you type that into AI, it will still start to lead you down a path that will give you more clarity than you had when you got to the interface. I'm almost willing to like, I'll bet some Lieberland merits on that. If you're feeling stuck in life, ask Chat GPT or Claude. You know, I've found between the two, to your point, uh, Cody, Claude comes across to me as more of like a really like a true, genuine personal friend with its responses, where Chat GPT is more like a cheerleader that just is like constantly cheering you on. I guess you kind of need both in your life, but I feel like Claude actually keeps it a little bit more real, which I like. Aside from the point though, just the inspiration that can come from asking the right questions or just being like, hey, I don't know what question to even ask right now. That's where it starts with AI. So, um, what do you have in mind for yourself, Cody, say like long term? I know we're talking about this kind of goal with your crew, which is awesome, and knowing you guys, like might take you a year or less to pull it off. But 3 years from now, 5 years from now, decade from now, what do you got on your vision board?
My vision board has three major components to it. And I've thought about this for a very long time. The first one it's businesses based around longevity. Assuming we don't end up in nuclear warfare, God bless, I'll put my prayers out there for that. Uh, there is one thing that Finland does when I went and visited. It's a country I've gone to twice, where they turn their trash into biofuel. And I've noticed no other countries are doing this. So I would love to get to a point where I can potentially partner with some people and try to see what countries are going to allow us to be able to build some of that infrastructure for long-term growth. I also really want to build a coffee brand for entrepreneurs because I'm drinking like a Red Bull right now. And the reason I drink Red Bull is out of the energy drinks, they are the healthiest. But if you look at all of I've done extensive research into this. there's a lot of coffee in the cans. There's a lot of energy drinks in the cans. The acidity levels are often too high or too low that it erodes the can. So you're getting micrometals. It's got other chemicals in there that aren't good for you, high sugar. The coffee in a can is not preserved properly. So you have artificial preservatives. I want to build a coffee brand with all natural preservatives within a certain acidity level that does not erode the can. So it's healthy at the end of the day, aside from, staining of your teeth. Add in L-theanine, L-tyrosine, and then business owners and sales reps can drink one of those in the morning. It's a coffee in a can, like a cold brew, but it's going to give you all the positives and none of the negatives. That's number two. The third one is I want to build, I guess this goes into one and two as well. I want to build a social brand that ties back in and helps me to grow these brands, helps me to make this impact, and just shares the story to help out the younger generation, the people who are going to be coming up in even more trying times. That I've got a younger sister, and the difference between me and her generation is already astronomical, let alone if you see what's going to come 10, 15, 20 years from now. As we're scaling this, they're going to need guidance more than anyone else to cut through the noise. And that's another thing that I feel very passionate about. There's of course like side quests that I want to do, but that's like the main vision board when I look at it. It's those three things, and throw in a little bit of travel, some extra martial arts training, and that's what I see the next 3 to 5, 7 years being.
Yeah, man, I love that. Um, I feel like you're kind of giving me an opportunity as well to do the first type of advertisement I've ever done in this regard on the show, and it's first directed at you, just so you know. And I think you actually already know this because we've talked about it before. But some of those projects you're talking about, obviously, we're talking, especially in the energy space with what Finland's doing, likely eight-figure projects, eight-figure, investments, if not even bigger. So, dude, if you could put together, some type of solid executive summary and business plan and whatever we can talk about it offline, but same goes for everyone else listening right now. If you're seeking funding on an opportunity 10 million US or larger, um, I have some connections that can get behind, especially someone like Cody who is clearly driven but might not have the track record. Um, it's not impossible. I want to say it's easy. I'm working with someone right now who has like zero track record, but the drive is crazy and it's actually looking like they're going to get funded. They need 51 million. Um, so there you go for everyone listening. Seed's been planted. You got my email down below. Hopefully, I don't get blown up too much. But yeah, this is something that I've been working on for 3 or 4 months now. And as you know, Cody, I left my day job recently, so I just feel much more confident blasting this message out to the masses. So there you go. You get first right, man. I know you got the drive. That's an
Beautiful.
easy sell. But anyways, what else can we learn about Cody Knoell today? I didn't know that about Red Bull. Any other like when you think fun fact about yourself, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Fun fact is wild. I've been told I've been boring by a lot of people. My
Oh.
sister definitely calls me boring because I'm a health nut. I biohack. I like boxing, working out, going on runs. I've got a dog. I love animals. And the biggest thing is I just like cultural shocks. Like I love going to places, renting nice Airbnbs. Like for example, Bangkok, Thailand. Air quality is not great, but I had a nice Airbnb in the sky. But the first day I went there, I'm like, all right, there's all these nice restaurants. There's a Michelin star restaurant there. But what if I just ask this taxi driver who speaks no English what his favorite place is to go and eat? We end up in the middle of this alleyway in middle of nowhere in Bangkok, Thailand, with our suitcases because we couldn't check in the Airbnb yet, eating some 30-cent soup that was like some of the best soup we had in all of Bangkok. So I don't know. I like experiencing the good and I would say the richer, the nicer luxuries, but also just experiencing authentic culture. I think you need both.
Yeah,
And
man.
now that's the whole reason I got into the coffee in the first place too. I went to Colombia and went to a Colombian bean farm. I said, "Hey, have you guys sell abroad?" "Oh yeah, we're some of the biggest sellers in the US and the UK." "Is there a way I could potentially like work out a discount on bulk for you guys? I'll even come down here and do a season of picking like beans by hand for you, if that would help." They're like, "If you come and do that, we'll set you up with any discount you want."
There you go, man. I love that. Just not afraid to get after it. And in a space where I feel like, and you've probably seen this yourself too. I feel like the coffee market, similar to like the just like the online merch market, is a little bit saturated. But if you can find that one thing like what you found, where we're the only one that doesn't have metal leaking into our can type of thing, and we're for entrepreneurs. I think, yeah, I think you're onto something there too. So I'm excited to see where this goes, man. Excited to follow your journey. On that note, what is the best way for our audience to follow up with you, get in touch with you, and watch the journey of Cody?
First off, they should join liberland.org. Like, because I haven't, but I want to join there, and I think it'd be a chance to connect. Shameless plug. I just should have signed up earlier. But no, I'm just Cody Knoell, Knoell. It's a weird Czech last name. And you can find me on Instagram. I'm inactive on YouTube, but I'll be on YouTube again soon. Or you can find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, for the sake of the replay of this interview, I'm sure someone listening even a month from now will probably be able to find you on YouTube. So,
Probably.
yeah,
Probably.
nice,
All of it's
man.
just my name, so I keep it a simple handle.
Cool. Yeah, guys, go connect with him. All the information is in the description in the show notes down below. As a reminder, if you are interested in pursuing Lieberland e-residency, that one again is pretty straightforward, pretty Googleable, if you will. Just Lieberland.org. You can figure that out. A lot of FAQs are online. If you have more nuanced questions specifically about becoming a Lieberland citizen, that's where I come in. So again, citizenship.adam@Lieberland.org. Shoot me a message. Happy to show you what becoming an official citizen of Lieberland also looks like, including getting one of these. I know you'll like this teaser, and this will be some inspiration for you, Mr. 20K a month, but getting your Lieberland passport,
Ooh.
which is a highly coveted item by many. So that is possible through citizenship. Okay, Cody, thank you again for coming on the show. This has been awesome.
Adam, appreciate you having me. I look forward to the next one, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll have to get you back on once you're in Thailand. So, ladies and gentlemen, been another episode of the Lieberland Show. Go check out the show notes right now, and we will catch you in the next episode. Remember, in all you think, say, and do, take it to the next level.